Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Satisfactory. Since last episode here, I've made a few changes. We had a few weird things happen too. But I did go ahead and fix up the vehicle route to the oil station so it works correctly now. It didn't work before. I was hoping it would, but I went back and did it correctly. It only took like 10 minutes. Wasn't too big of a deal. But apparently I went too far and I could have went to a better oil area, but that's okay because we're going to expand in the future anyways. This doesn't really matter in all the end play because I definitely won't be using vehicles to automate it. We have to come up with some future plans here too. Now, one weird thing that did happen was for some reason, we'll go in here, I'll start in here. On the belt from here up to that splitter, and then from that belt up to that splitter was oil barrels, and then I come up here, and from every splitter to every coal generator there was oil on the belt, but not in the splitters or on the lines in between. So I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe I messed up and clipped the station when I was driving by, but just the way it lined up was really weird. Anyway, I got that all cleaned up. We didn't end up having to like reset the power or anything, so that's cleaned up. I noticed when I was checking the other end for steel that we needed more steel. I've actually underclocked these ones a little bit for now just to save us on a little bit of power. What we're going to do this episode is we're going to talk about like the complete build in the future here and what we need to do in here. So this factory has to be turned back on pretty soon. Everything is, well, all the machines actually are not turned off except for the end ones here, the production machines, the assemblers, to go into here. Because I've gone ahead and done some of the boring renovation stuff. I've taken out our old overflow over here. There's just a few storages of some of the items left. So we're going to have to work on getting these factories back up and operating, but we have to optimize them. One thing I really didn't do too much, like, I'm not going to sit there and optimize them to 100% and do like fraction decimals and, you know, all the other crap. I'm going to get them running so they're running pretty well. Now, I had a lot of this actually built before it came out publicly, like you could purchase and play it. And they changed a few things, a few times through that playthrough, so it took a little while. I could probably actually start taking some of these out too for this. I have these machines turned off. These are actually not producing any copper items anymore. So our overflow is still going over here, which will allow me some time to actually clean up this copper a little bit and put it in a better place. This over here has to get looked into too. We are producing tons of concrete. This is for building because I put a lot of foundations down, but we need some more, I think. We need to change this. This old storage area back here is just kind of I want to get rid of this whole building here and get rid of this and just say goodbye to it. Next thing we need to do is from our second layer down, we're actually going to have to bring supplies from here up here down to there without being ugly about it. So I'm going to use a 1x1 conveyor design going down through the supports. I think will look pretty good. We'll bring this across the same as we did down there, but we'll build the support probably right about here and then plug it in our system over here. I've been kind of looking at this too. It actually doesn't look too bad. I might build some storage boxes coming off these, like splitters, to fill a storage box. And let this factory run a little bit overtime, overclock it for a bit once we have all of this up and running again. Just so we can save up on some of the items. Because it's always good to come back if you ever need some of these right on the fly. And just to have an extra storage. You guys know what I'm trying to say. So I actually have to get rid of this line coming out here because on the floor beneath us, we actually moved it right here and it's coming across. So if I take these foundations out, you'll actually see that. Whoa, whoa. Oh, that's so easy to do. Take out something while you're not paying attention. But here we go. I need to make another crossway over here. And maybe make the way down right here. Is that in the middle of a walkway? No, we're good. I can do storage and stuff in here too. Because I need to store some of these. Apparently these are used for the higher belts, so I'd like to get a storage of these going too, and that's a nice spot to put one. So we'll do the storage down, another storage container, and then once we get our tiers done, we'll put the assembler over here to make the modular frames. It's all ready for the modular frames. It's just got to be turned back on and good to go. Okay, first things first, getting rid of this thing and changing it so it goes across this way. So I've built a bridge across here and connected it to what will be the second floor of this if I do build a second floor, which I think would actually take doubling the production over here. But if I do build a second floor, it'll be up there and we'll tie it in. But this thing here is actually completely full of motors. I've actually pretty much got this thing turned off. It's running very, very slowly because, well, we don't really need too many more. And look at this, we have like 2 motors into each other. That's a little weird. So this thing actually has to get moved, which is a little bit of a pain in the butt, but that's okay. I'm gonna put a storage container for that back here for now. We're gonna empty that sucker out so that I can build the conveyor belt system to get the stuff down here. Alright, so this is essentially what I got. I spent the overnight working because it's too dark to really record this nicely. May as well just tidy up and wait till morning. So I got this area all cleaned up. The storage is out of here. We do have stuff flowing from those floating storages over there into this storage, little temporary storage area over here. We'll feed this back off and split it back into the production, and eventually it'll empty. Then we'll place these in better areas where they're not in the way. But the overflow is almost done. It's pretty crazy. This overflow's been here for a while, but that's okay. It served its purpose. Now I've been working on this. What this essentially should do is allow for 2 belts to go down at the same time, if I imagine this correctly here. So as you can see, I have the belt coming out here. It goes over to this side, goes down a level around the back, down a level around the back. If I'm looking at it, we should be able to get another one in here that does the exact same thing. I just have to visualize this for a second. Okay, I'm gonna hook up to the second layer and make sure that I'm thinking right. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay. So we got... Oh yeah, this works out perfectly. Look at that. And the footprint actually is not that big. This will look nice and tight. I mean, it's a little time consuming to make, but 2 different things running on this belt. Oh, that's gonna look good. Now, I guess this would only really work with a max of 2. So if I built another 2 floors, I would have to build another stack down. But it is what it is. I'm gonna take the extra stack poles out just to make it look proper. Okay, well, I'm gonna continue this design all the way down. I think the easiest way, oh crap, oh wow, that was close. Without a jetpack to do this, is I'm gonna just build a bunch of foundations and get up on them, and then just plug it in and take my foundations out as I go down. Are the plates not coming off of this? I should check the direction. Okay, let's jump up here. I think I actually might have just fed all of the plates. I did. It is running in the right direction though, so hopefully I don't mess up on this thing. But I think it looks great. It looks cool. It's nice and tight, and it fits. It doesn't fit exactly into 1x1. Maybe if you made a little bit smaller, but I don't think you can. I think that's a max distance you can lift one up with a conveyor belt. So, anywho, I'm gonna get working on this. Okay, so we ended up with a nice tight loop all the way down. It's a little heavy on the conveyor belts, but I think that looks good. They don't cross each other. They don't kind of float. I really like the way that looks, and that's actually incredibly easy to do. All I did was stack the foundations up, climbed on top, and then just took the foundations out as I went down. Made things a lot easier to see. But we're at the level where we can actually hook up into this. So I'm thinking I'm going to put 2 splitters right here, and then 2 mergers, sorry, and then we'll merge everything in right here. So this one's going to be a little tricky. We can do it, but we have to use a different trick and start from the top. If I can get a conveyor belt in beside this machine, that's a big if. Oh, now I'll go across this way. It'll be a lot easier. So this here is just going to be temporary. What we're going to do is build belts across here. Doesn't matter. And we're going to eye this up right here. So since we already have one of these here, what you can do is you can actually line these up on the blocks. Or if you have something that's already like this here, you can use the guides. But this will give you the exact center so that when you go put those floating sorry, the floating mergers in, you can hit them dead center because the mergers don't snap or anything, and they're a little tough. So we're actually going to get rid of this row here, and we'll get rid of these, and we should be able to snap these back into the merger right here. So since those are gone, actually, we'll do this as an example. So I'll put one of these right here. There we go. We will take out our merger. Yeah, we need to start from the top on this one, sorry, because we're putting them right on the belts. Take our merger, and if you look at the belt, it'll snap. I want everything to go in that direction. That's right. Always check the green arrow. And now if you look, because the supports are dead center, they snap, right? If you look at this, you can actually eye it up, and if you're a perfectionist, you can get that thing right in the center. And this other one underneath it should literally just snap right in the exact same place. But before you do that, before you put the bottom one in, always remember to finish your belts on the one on the top, or it'll get in the way of the other one. So we need to plug what's in at the top. Okay, so we got... Ooh, this is actually kind of perfect. I do think this is... Yes, that will be our plates. So we can plug our plates. Encroaching. What are we encroaching? Oh, this stupid thing. Oh, I hate that crap. Alright, let's see if we can move this over a little bit here. We'll just line it up. Maybe that'll work. It looks like it's still be... Yeah, it's still in the way. Damn it. Can I move this thing up at all? Oh yeah, we have room. We can actually move this up. So I'm gonna undo these here. Now I know a lot of people like to be efficient right down to conveyor belts, but sometimes like I make a lot of extra supplies. This power pole is gonna be in the way again. It's gonna take a little bit of renovation. That's okay though. I have lots of supplies, and I honestly just really like how the higher tiers look better. So sometimes I'll just use them. Like, to me, it's not a waste because I already have all the supplies. Not a big deal. Okay, looks like we're good to go. I'm going to get rid of this assembler and reset it back up a little further back. There we go. So this spot gives us a little bit of room, and then I can take the out from the assembler here and actually probably tie it into one of these lines, which will look good. So I'm going to get rid of that stackable. And I guess we really don't need... I'm going to leave it just to make sure it's like double lined up. I think that'll be good. Is that top one okay? Yeah, we're good. Okay, so I think it looks nice and tight. I don't really like jamming them into each other like that. I like the space in between. But if you're in a tight spot like this definitely works. So let's go ahead and get this tied into that. And bang, there we go. So that is now being merged into the main line from the top level. And then this is coming from the bottom level. And here, once this fills up, I'll actually take the out from here and then put it in here just to merge it in and empty it out. We'll put a storage in a better spot. Okay, so this is looking good here. Now, I gotta get this thing set back up too, but we need to do the second one before we get too distracted. So now we should be able, because we got... Yeah, this is enough here to plug in over there. We should be good. Actually, just to make sure, I'm going to do it now so I don't have to disassemble it later. Let's go 5 conveyor belt Mark IIs. There we go. Go in the right direction. Yep. Okay, so we should be able to take that second merger now. Hit that line with it. And use both the one above it and this one to try to balance it out. Yeah, that looks decent right there, I think. It's so hard to tell. There we go. Like, it's lined up right there to the other one. Yeah, look at that. Okay. There we go. So that is actually technically kind of floating. I could put a pole in the middle of this. But then it's kind of in the walkway too. Looks a little weird. Oops, and it's not even centered. Shouldn't be able to see it. Okay, so we got to get this one tied into the bottom row now. So let's go ahead, get that in there. Nice, nice. So now that is feeding that sucker. I'm going to have to fix that up over there too. That's not a big deal though. And we should be able to get this second line here down in there. Now, like I just want to repeat, I only like using this when we're a little tight for space, like in this entranceway. Otherwise, I'll give it a couple levels. But this is also an alternate. Now, if you have to change this, you have to destroy the whole thing. So that's one of the downfalls too. But it's looking good. I'm happy with it. Let's fix this sucker up. Alright, and this thing is set back up and it is good to go. There's a tight space back in there, but I was able to actually make it rather easily. So we're good there. Now, I did want to split off of this here and build a storage for it. So I think I should do that now. I'm going to elevate the storage too. So we're going to put a splitter, I think, right here. Yeah, right outside here. I'm gonna build it up. Okay, and I think this is actually acceptable. I think I'm happy with this. So I'm gonna put my conveyor poles in here just to fake the support for it. I like to make things too as far as like as much as possible so that you can walk underneath it. Now it's technique I found I prefer. But we're starting to build up these encased industrial beams in here, which is good. So we got it split off up here, and then it'll fill up the storage. Once that's full, of course, it'll keep feeding on to our assembler once it's down here, our larger assembler. So I'm going to get rid of this craft bench here, and we're going to step back and take a quick look so far at what we've done. So this is how we're looking here. I'm really liking the nice organized way this is coming out. I'm definitely going to be using this design for future. I should actually switch out in behind the stack I have going up. I think this would look a lot better where the miners are for the ore. Anyway, I really like this. So everything's hooked up. We have this floor coming in, feeding the elevator into the splitters, which is feeding these machines over here. Which now means we need to do some optimization and start turning our factory back on. So I'm looking at the steel here, and the steel seems to be constantly moving, but we don't have everything on. So we'll have to, oh, this is going to be crazy. So this we can't optimize yet. There's no point in optimizing this until we have the end product going. And these two here, actually, are they feeding? The only thing that's feeding stuff in here is this over here. So as long as this is producing enough, we should be okay over here. So yeah, we'll get these two optimized so that they're producing at their max and max production with minimal energy. Holy crap, that was hard to say. As best as possible. And then we'll get that turned on and plugged in and hooked up and going. Oh, sick. That storage container is done, so we can get rid of this now. See you later. So first things first, I actually got to turn these floors on. I don't think very much is overclocked. I'm actually going to have to double check. The first thing I know I can do is actually turn down the clock speed on these. So I'm going to start experimenting on this floor as I turn things back on. I'm going to have to let things... Actually, I should probably empty all this stuff out of the machines so that I can get an actual feel for the flow. So now if we look at our production here, this is pretty easy to do. It might take a few tries to get everything set up right. But if we look, it's telling you at 100% we're making 5 reinforced iron plates per minute. So we're making 10 of these, 5 on each floor when it's running just like this. But to maintain this, we're going to need 120 screws per minute. So what I've done over here is I've actually underclocked these machines, but they're only producing 45. We need each machine to actually be producing 60 in order for that thing to be efficient. So I'm going to bump that up a bit and find out how much it takes to get 60. So we're looking at a clock speed of 67%. To get 60.3 per minute. So eventually it will actually build up in the other machines, but it'll take forever. And this is probably the most effective we're going to get. If I drop down, it'll actually be underproducing, and you really don't want that machine to be turning off. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this one over here to 67% too. So, mission accomplished. What we got here is we got 2 machines underclocked to 67% instead of overclocking one machine and using even more power. This is actually cheaper for power in the long run. And then it merges it together really quickly into one row, which then fills the machine. And we're running this, it says at 95%. Now, I don't understand why that is, because there's absolutely no pause in between it crafting. So I'm thinking that's a little bit of a bug, or that's just how it is. I don't friggin' know. Anyways, we're good to go with this thing here. I'm happy with this. Now, the next thing we have to get done is our plates here, which shouldn't be too hard. Now, if we look, we need 20 plates per minute into this machine, and I think this line here, if I remember correctly, only actually feeds one machine. So it's this bottom row on this side. So we're gonna follow it. I think it's my only plate machine. Yeah, this is my plate machine right here. So if we look at it, it's actually producing 30 per minute, which is too many. We don't need that many. We only need 20 per minute. So there we go. So we can overclock this one machine here. Let's try to actually save a little bit. I wish I know how to do the clock speed math. That would be really nice too. If anyone has a formula, let me know down in the comments. That would be really handy. So I'm gonna settle here for 21 per minute just to let them stack up a little bit so I can come grab them from these machines if I need them, because I don't need them too often, right? It shouldn't be too much of a problem. Now the conveyor belts are a little full. If I leave them producing at that amount, actually, it'll still stay full on the stack. Oh, you know what I can do? We'll take it out there, and hopefully that'll clean up the row a little bit, just so stuff is moving, right? Because I know that's a trigger point for some people when watching the videos. They're like, oh, your stuff isn't 100% efficient. And I'm like, yeah, just give me some time, bro. Getting all my stuff together. This is what this is about. This is getting the dirty done. I could actually use these plates anyway, so we'll grab them out. So we'll let this thing feed, and we'll check back on it. Now that these things are underclocked and making the right amount of nails for our machine here, just slightly above, like I said, it's making 60.3, so it is what it is. Now, each of these are taking just a little bit over 10 iron rods per minute. So I'm going to want each of these iron rows here on this side, to be producing 11 each per minute. It'll stack up a little bit, but it is what it is, right? So let's follow these lines in, these top 2 lines. They should actually run down the side of here. So these 2 should be the ones that are producing our iron rods. So they're actually producing 11 per minute right now. So we're going to want to back that down to 11 and save a little bit of power. Okay, so this is what I settled for, 69. And that'll give us 10.35 per minute. I'm going to just double check the calculation on the other side. That should just give us slightly more than we need. Here we go. Yeah, we need 10.05. Okay, so that's about as close, I think, as we're going to get that one. Good old decimal places. You got to love those. And we got to do the same thing to this one here. So we'll go 69 with this constructor here. And we should be running pretty well. I'm taking these out just to double check the lines too. So now that we got these down to just over 10 per minute, it also only takes 10 iron ingots per minute. So just above 10 and a half, we'll say. So let's go look at the smelter behind it. This thing is producing 30 per minute. So we can definitely go down quite a bit and save a bit of power. So we'll go down to 11 on these. That's got to be like maybe 35%. I'm going to type that in there and find out. Oh, look at that. 35% did 10.5 per minute. Oh, 10.35 per minute. Damn you. Decimal places. So we're going to go, I guess, with 36% just to make sure we got our bases covered. There we go. 10.8. 10.8 is better than your 10.35. Oh, wait. 10.5 will do. 10.5, by the way, guys, is more than 10.3. So that is down to 35%. We're going to do the same thing for this one because it's making the exact same thing. So we're going to lower this sucker down to 35. And this will like save our power consumption like crazy because at 35%, we're only using the power we need while it's running, and it's using 0.7. But if I were just to jack it up and leave it at 100, you're looking, come on, get it back up there, at 4 megawatts while it's doing it. So it's actually consuming more power, so you'll have higher peaks and bigger lows. The more you can stabilize your power, the better. That way you won't be suffering to try to do power all the time, right? Okay, I'm going to change this one back. So looking at this one here, these ones call for 42 iron ingots per minute. Now that machine's overclocked, so this one probably will have to be... Oh yeah, it's overclocked a little too much, so let's take away that whole overclock. And that will produce 45 when we needed 43. So we can actually underclock that just a little bit. I'm going to go 148. And we will actually save that. That's beautiful. And once I got these floors done, this top floor done, all I have to do is go and copy it on the first floor, all the settings on the machine, and we're good to go. This is actually running really well again. I'm quite happy with this output, or this outcome. Alright, so at 143, we got it making 42.9 per minute, and this one takes 42. So it's overproducing just a wee bit, and that's okay, because I don't mind having a little bit of overstock in these things that I can come grab later. And it does take a while to kind of get jammed up, right? So we'll leave it at that. There we go. We got what I think is one whole side of the floor optimized. Are these getting built up? If I take all of this stuff out, it should actually start moving everything again. Over time, everything will be moving. So there we go. See, like this is now moving. The plates are always moving. Let's go make sure that we have everything right, and we will check this assembler here. So did I take iron plates out of this? I'm pretty sure I did. We're overproducing just a little bit, so it shouldn't be too bad. Now we might end up over time slowly our conveyor belts like these ones here getting full of items, but hey, you know what? The better I get at it, maybe I'll learn how to get rid of those stupid fractions. They kind of do suck. But it's looking good. So this floor is looking really good. We're still using we're still making 5 per minute. But I mean, we reduced our power consumption by quite a bit, right? Like 67% here, 67% there. This here is running at 100%. I guess I could overclock this and then get everything else up to par. But I think 5 per minute at the cost of this power isn't that bad. Actually, let's see. With half the top floor optimized. Oh, yeah, look at that. We're barely using any power, so we're good to go. Now we have to get this side going. This one's actually turned off. Actually, let's take a look at this. So we're running at 106 with this side not turned on. And that's with the steel factory going too. That's with like everything. So that's really cool. So we're gonna get this one turned on here. Bang. Now it's not gonna go right away. It's gonna take a few seconds for all the machines to get warmed up and start kind of going again. So I'm gonna wait a few minutes and then we'll take a look at the power fluctuations. Okay, so now that we have the other side, everything's running on this half of the top 2 floors of the 2 places. And look how crazy the power is going. It is going all over the place, right? Because machines are running at full tilt when they're on, and then they turn off. So our power grid actually is not that stable. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna optimize this side. Take a good look at that. We're averaging about I would say about 180 megawatts, kind of all over the place. Once we get this all optimized, we should be running at more of a flat line. Okay, so we'll start at the end here again. We're making 6 rotors per minute. For that, we're going to need 18 iron rods and 132 screws per minute. That one's a little odd. So, oh wow, look at this. It looks like it's running pretty decently. It says it's running at 90% efficiency. How does that work when it's not waiting on anything? Should it not be at 100%? If I'm being stupid there, definitely let me know what I'm messing up on. Does it count these belts as being too fast as the efficiency? It went up a little bit. Maybe it just had to wait. So we need 132 per minute. So each side is gonna have to make 66, and that'll give us 132 per minute. So let's take a look over here. Right now each side is making 90, so I'm gonna try to crank that down a little bit. We'll go down to 66, see what happens. At 66 gave us 59, so we're gonna go up to 71. There we go. So 74% will give us 66.6 per minute. Once again, just a little bit above because of the fractions, but hey, it is what it is, right? So I might actually go and write these down in order to do the other floors. We'll probably do that between episodes too, because once you've seen the one floor, you probably don't want to watch me do the next one, right? But this should essentially be producing just a little bit more than enough screws to keep this thing going here. Oh yeah, we're looking at it now. It says 100%. Okay, maybe it takes a little while to recalculate stuff. But we need to go and take a look at these iron rods here. These are coming in. It's the first machine that's going to be on the inside of here. So that machine needs to be doing 18 per minute. And this is that machine. We're actually doing 22.5. So we need to overclock this thing still a little bit. So I'm going to find that sweet spot. Alright, so it seems 121% overclock speed will give us 18.15 per minute. That's about as close as we're going to get. So I'm going to keep it there. Once again, we're slightly overproducing, but they won't really be sitting around. So that'll be good. And in order to produce that, we need 18.15 iron ingots a minute. We're producing 30. So we can definitely crank this sucker down too. Alright, so I think we can actually... Oh, it's not going to be running completely effective because I got it to go to 18 per minute, but this one's at 18.15. What if I move it down to 120? Will it bump it? Oh, 18 per minute. That's perfect. Look at that. All I do is lower it down one number. So we save some power here, which is nice, especially on the overclocking because that's really expensive. And we saved quite a bit of power here too, and this should essentially end up being 100% efficient. So we should be good to go. So first level's done. It looks like it'll chew through these a little bit, and then we should be good. Or maybe we should just take them off so they're not sitting on the belts, because a lot of people assume that if they're sitting on the belts that I haven't optimized. So we'll just take it off just to make sure. There we go. Still running at almost 100%. Maybe it's because I took these out. Taking a second. There we go. And that should help us empty off the belt. These screws are looking good. They're constantly moving, which is nice. They're not sitting on the belts anymore. And now we got to look at these two suckers right here. Both of these should be producing at the same time. So this one needs 11.1 per minute. And the other one should need exactly the same, 11.1, because they're both the same thing. Okay. So all we got to do is match up the two machines that feed the top rows, 1, 2 right here, to pump out just above 11 per minute. There we go, 11.1 per minute, right on the dot. So 74 will do both for these machines. I wish you could do decimal places in the clock speeds to adjust. Hey, come on, let me type in there. There we go. Holy crap, difficulties. To adjust for like the little decimal places, that would be really nice too. But there we go, 11.1 per minute, 11.1 per minute. It looks like we have this entire thing optimized, maybe other than the flow coming in, but it's still looking like it's flowing pretty well. So I don't think we actually have to adjust that back there. I think we're good. I think we're good. Awesome. Okay, so this floor is done. The other floor is done. I'm gonna wait till morning time here. We'll take a look at the two end machines and make sure that they're producing really well. So while I'm waiting for the factory to fully go here, I adjusted a little bit. I went back to all the machines, made sure all the stacks of stuff were out of them, just so it's running 100% without like stuff sitting on the belt, so we can actually visualize the optimization. And I'm taking a look down here, and oh my god, I love it. So many moving things on one screen. It's insane. It's like a fish tank for nerds. I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, so this thing here is producing these like crazy, and apparently those are actually rather expensive, because if we look at our steel line, it's actually getting backed up a little bit. It's not keeping up. This thing used to be packed with steel. So I think it's a good idea to go and just jack up the steel for now, because we can definitely afford a little bit of power. Let's take a look at our power now here. Oh yeah, look at that. A lot better. A lot better. A little bit of this too is coming from the steel factory, which we still have to optimize. But for the most part, we're looking better. So we've saved a little bit of power. You can see there's a little less overhead. It's not peaking up as high. It goes down once the steel factory does this thing. This is about what it's producing without this thing going crazy over here. So we've got that all nice and cleaned up. We'll save ourselves a little bit of power, a little bit of trouble. Like I said, it's not 100% necessary, but I mean, if we look at this, like this machine here is running what it says at 94%. Oh no, are we not keeping up? Oh no, we're keeping up. There we go. Okay, so the way I look at it, sometimes you have to wait for these things to catch up, because I took a stack out of here and it took a second for it to get rebooting. It has to have 3 in it to even start. So it has to have 3 and then it waits for another 3 and then it starts crafting. So it always have to have that backup. As long as we have 6 in there and it flips over, oh look at that, it's perfect timing. As soon as it flips over, we get that 6th one and it keeps going again. So that is 100%. Like 6, bang, just like that. Isn't that beautiful? So that is 100%. We're good to go on that. It does look like we're stocking up on screws a little bit, but if I take these out now, I may end up bumping that number down a little bit. But that's okay. We'll leave this as it is. I mean, if we have a little extra nails, we have a few extra nails, right? But it's looking pretty good. I'm happy with the way it looks. Everything is running. Let's go. Let's take a look at this. We'll hop up here. Now, most episodes so far have been like a ton of building, exploring, you know, really getting things done. But I honestly, like, I was going to really worry about this in later episodes, but it doesn't really take that long. And I know it'll make a lot of you happy too, especially the people who don't like seeing things sitting on the conveyor belts. But it's going to happen here because the steel factory is not going full tilt. Like, look how well these floors are producing. Like for the floor below, we're gonna have to go and I think get storage hooked up and just go get that whole steel floor going so that it can keep up with this, because oh my god, we're producing 10 plates without super overclocking, which is nice. I think we only have like a couple of machines overclocked, and that's nothing per floor. And look at that, movement everywhere, just enough to make everything pass, which is really, really nice. So there we go. The people who wanted optimization, you got it. It actually does look much better. It's just stuff like constantly moving. And honestly, I am almost thinking it's a little bit easier on your graphics card not having that many items on the belt, because I'm assuming it's counting everything as one item and has to track it. So optimizing might actually even optimize your own gameplay. Think about that one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get the other floor done. But we're going to go get that steel turned all the way back up. And I think before I do the other floor, I'm going to add some storage containers down to the steel floor. So that we can siphon some stuff and get everything going, right? And just have a little bit of backup. So I'm going to go ahead and jump down here. I really don't have any jump pads here, which kind of sucks. Maybe if I use this? Nope. We didn't want to ping for anything. We'll jump back through here. Here's my steel machines. Let's get these things here going all the time, because yeah, like look at that. There's not very much sitting on here at all. There we go. We'll get those going. Beauty. All right, you produce more steel, and I will go take a look at all these steel machines. This is a floor here I have to optimize. This is what it looked like before, and after this episode, everything is moving on it constantly. So, cool. And look at this. I even started putting the walls in. Now my paint gun resets every time I reload with the colors. So I'm going to just go with a white theme for now once they either fix that or, you know, make a workaround. I'm not going to really bother painting too much because it really sucks having to reset those colors all the time. Alright, so I'm going to get up here and take a look at where I can throw storages. So I'm kind of looking at this, and honestly, I'm not really too worried about like the rest of the stuff that's coming into here. Like, I don't think we're going to need too many steel pipes. I can just make that from raw material if need be. So I'm not going to worry about that too much. But like all of this is off. This is no power. It has no power. Did I? Where'd the power go for this? I don't remember. Oh, I moved the whole thing. That's right. There we go. We'll get this started up again, and that should start chewing through this stuff. So yeah, let's just get my steel floor turned on here, and we'll take a look at the power consumption. Oh wow, this is overclocked like crazy. It's full too. Oh wow, yeah, this definitely does not need to be producing any more frames at the moment. We'll leave that for that. But this is what we got right now. This is our in production. Now, what I need to focus on next episode here, now that we got this factory floor and that factory floor optimized, is I need to come over here and start working on unlocking the manufacturer. This is what we need, the manufacturer. This thing's huge. I can't wait to make it. So we need to unlock this. This will give us a truck too, which has a bigger inventory, which is not an issue, because honestly I think I'm going to stop using the automated vehicles just because they are a pain in the butt if they mess up, and then you have to reset them, and it's just, yeah, it's too much work. And then we can make computers too, so we'll get this unlocked here next episode. I'm actually going to select it as a milestone. We definitely have way more than enough materials to get that together real easily, so we'll get that going. We'll get the heavy modular frames being made in the steel factory. We'll try to optimize it. By that time, we'll have 2 fully functional floors feeding that thing. We'll have to keep messing with the steel and keep the steel up with the whole steel floor. That might take a little bit. That's a lot of steel. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. So, optimized, done. Here's an optimization episode. I hope actually I helped you guys kind of visualize and see how easy it really is to optimize stuff. Those floors were kind of optimized before, so they're actually built really well. Now, in the future, when I go to build a new factory, what I'm going to look at again when I placing my machines down is optimization. If I have to overclock one, sometimes it's better just to build 2 and underclock both of them, because 2 running underclocked, making the same amount, will actually use less than 1 overclocked. So I do see the value too, I think, in the long run of actually just overclocking your power, so you need less power, right? We're actually like way overproducing on power now. We're looking pretty good. Oh yeah, look at that. So everything's kind of balancing out now. We're getting more of a straight line of power, which is what you want. You don't want crazy spikes and stuff all the time. So it looks a little better. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, let me know. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. And actually, if you made it this far, let me know down in the comments. I like hearing from you guys. I'm going to go stare at the conveyor belts over here for the next little while I make my thumbnail. Have a good one, guys. Peace out. Stay classy.